Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Five. I'm your host, Michael Ware, President, CEO of the Center for Christianity and Public Life. Today is Thursday, February 26th. I'll start off with a reading from Matthew's Gospel, chapter 11. Now, when John heard in prison about the deeds of the Christ, he sent word by his disciples and said to him, "Are you the one who is to come, or shall we look for another?" And Jesus answered them, "Go and tell John what you hear and see. The blind receive their sight, and the lame walk. Lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear, and the dead are raised up, and the poor have good news preached to them. And blessed is the one who is not offended by me." As they went away, Jesus began to speak to the crowds concerning John. "What did you go out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken by the wind? What then did you go out to see? A man dressed in soft clothing? Behold, those who wear soft clothing are in kings' houses. What then did you go out to see? A prophet? Yes, I tell you, and more than a prophet. This is he of whom it is written, 'Behold, I send my messenger before your face, who will prepare your way before you.' Truly I say to you, among those born of women, there has arisen no one greater than John the Baptist. Yet the one who is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he." May God bless the reading of his word. Well, friends, again, great to be with you. Let's get to today's news highlights. First, the Trump administration is set to conduct high-stakes negotiations with Iranian officials today. The talks come as the United States has built up its military presence in the Middle East, with President Trump considering potential action against Iran if the negotiations fail. Ahead of today's scheduled meeting in Geneva, the administration slapped a new round of sanctions on people it says are assisting with Iran's ballistic missile program and oil sales. The new sanctions targeted 30 people, companies, and ships. Next up, the Vatican said yesterday that Pope Leo will travel to Africa this spring for a 10-day trip, visiting Algeria, Angola, Cameroon, and the Equatorial Guinea. The New York Times notes that Catholicism is growing faster on the African continent than anywhere else. Between 2022 and 2023, the number of Catholics around the world increased by more than 15 million people, with more than half of them living in Africa, according to the Vatican's most recent statistics about church growth. More Catholic priests in training come from the African continent now than anywhere else. Finally, for today's highlights, the House of Representatives failed to pass a major aviation safety bill this week. Members drafted the legislation in response to the mid-air collision over Washington, D.C. just over a year ago. Collision between a commercial airplane and a military aircraft, which killed 67 people. The bill's failure came after the Pentagon withdrew its support, with military officials arguing it would create unspecified security risks. The legislation would have mandated the use of a safety system that transmits aircraft locations to other aircraft, applying that reporting system to many military helicopters. The National Transportation Safety Board has said this change could have prevented last year's crash. Members may attempt to pass the bill, known as the Rotor Act, again soon, possibly with tweaks to win back the Pentagon's support. All right, now let's get into today's main story. I sincerely hope our listeners aren't spending much time or money in prediction markets, platforms where people can place wagers on everything, ranging from what words a podcast host might use in an upcoming episode to how likely World War III might be. These platforms have introduced a host of questions for public policy thinkers and legislators, foremost among them the potential for insider trading. If a bet is available that someone might talk about a specific topic during a speech, for example, what's to stop that person or one of their friends from manipulating the situation to benefit? Some wagers infiltrate comment sections begging people who are live streaming a podcast, for example, to say a specific phrase. The ability to manipulate these bets in real time is another interesting question for lawmakers to consider. In the absence of much government regulation, one prediction market is disciplining two users for violating its own insider trading rules. The first such publicly announced disciplinary actions by this company called Kalshi. The Wall Street Journal reported yesterday that Kyle Langford, a former California gubernatorial candidate, has been banned from the platform and fined $2,200 related to his trades after posting a video on social media that showed him betting on his own political victory. As a candidate, Langford qualified as a direct decision maker for this contract and had direct influence on the outcome of the underlying event, Kalshi said in its announcement. Kalshi also fined a video editor for the popular YouTube streamer Mr. Beast, saying the editor traded around $4,000 on wagers related to the videos he was editing while working for Mr. Beast. Kalshi has fined him more than $20,000 and suspended his account for 2 years. According to the Wall Street Journal, Kalshi employs a surveillance system that alerts the company when users have, quote, near-perfect trading success on markets with low odds, which were statistically anomalous. Bobby Denault, head of Kalshi's enforcement, wrote in the announcement that, quote, in both cases, our team collected evidence, applied Kalshi's disciplinary process fairly, and concluded that there was sufficient evidence that a trading violation occurred. Kalshi has reportedly opened around 200 other insider trading investigations. Prediction markets and how easily they might be manipulated were in the spotlight earlier this year when an anonymous user profited more than $400,000 on a bet after American forces captured Venezuela's leader, Nicolas Maduro, and removed him from power. All right, let's stop there for today and go to the Lord in prayer. Dear Father, always near us, may your name be treasured and loved. May your rule be completed in us. May your will be done here on earth in just the way it is done in heaven. Give us today the things we need today. Forgive us our sins and impositions on you as we are forgiving all who in any way offend us. Please don't put us through trials, but deliver us from everything bad, because you are the one in charge and you have all the power, and the glory too is all yours forever, which is just the way we want it. All right, friends, thank you for joining me today. As always, The Morning Five is brought to you in partnership with the That Sounds Fun Network, supported by the Center for Christianity and Public Life. If you'd like to learn more about our work at CCPL, you can visit ccpubliclife.org. Hope you have a blessed Thursday, great weekend. We'll be back on Monday with The Morning Five.